Good evening, all. It's 7 o'clock. I'll call the meeting to order. If you don't mind, if we could all stand, and Mr. Morse is going to lead us in prayer, at which point we'll do the Pledge of Allegiance.
In prayer, please. Dear Heavenly Father, we come to you thanking you so much for this very day and the life that you've given to us. Lord, we pray for the United States of America. We pray for our soldiers and our military folks, our first responders who are always available to us. And we especially pray for our president and the rest of his cabinet members. Lord, thank you so much for this time we can gather together with our administration here in Walton to listen to what's going on in our city and understand their concern for what we're feeling and what we're going through. So I pray that this meeting would be cordial, be fruitful, and be profitable to each and every one who's here. And I thank you for all this in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Rebecca, if we can get a roll call, please.
Dan Martin.
Here.
Kayla Flegge.
Here.
Amy Long. Here. Sherry Gaskell.
Here.
Rose Beach. Here. Matt Brown.
And we would see if he's trying to enter, right?
Yes, we will.
Okay,
There's
very
no
good.
waiting room. All right, thank you.
Okay, so announcements. We have August the 23rd. It's going to be our first annual Community Day at the Dr. Odell Moreno Owens and Family Nature Park. The hours for that day are 11 to 6. 11 to 6. So we're going to have a band. We're going to have bouncy houses for the kids. We're going to have shacks, yaks, kayak rentals. But it's going to be free for that day. So he's going to bring out his trailer full of kayaks. We're also going to have the Kenton County Animal Shelter there. They're looking to try to waive their adoption fees for that day. So hopefully some families can take home a family pet and help with the need of the Kenton County Animal Shelter. Anyhow, it's going to be a good day. So there's going to be food trucks too. We're hoping to have a good turnout. Again, that's August 23rd. So look forward to seeing you all there. September 6th, Old Fashioned Day. A day full of fun. I'm sure you've all experienced it. I will highlight that that day we will have 3 bands that will span from after the parade all the way up until 10 o'clock?
10.
10 o'clock, yes. There's no fireworks this year, so if for anyone that was expecting fireworks, I just want to lay it out there that this year we're not doing fireworks. Also, we're going to have our fall cleanup. It's not on the agenda, but we just determined that our fall cleanup will be Thursday the 25th through Sunday the 28th, just like our spring cleanup. So you'll see more details about that in our newsletter that comes out with the water bill. And if I can get it, an approval of the agenda, please.
Motion to approve.
I second that.
Dan Martin.
Yes.
Kayla Flegge.
Yes.
Amy Long. Yes. Sherry Gaskell.
Yes.
Rose Beach. Yes. Matt Brown.
And an approval of the minutes.
Motion to combine into one unit and approve as one unit.
Second that.
Dan Martin.
Yes.
Kayla Flegge.
Yes.
Amy Long.
Yes.
Sherry Gaskell.
Yes.
Rose Beach. Yes. Matt Brown.
And we'll open it up for citizens' comments. Are there any citizens who have concerns or desire to speak at this point? If not, you can definitely add whatever you'd like to throughout the meeting, but just an opportunity if you have anything. Yes, sir.
I had an opportunity today to be at the Kroger Center. And what's being built beside Kohl's to the south?
So that would actually be what they're doing, and Chief might know better than I or Mr. Bogan, but it's improved drainage for Lowe's itself. Lowe's will be on the other side of Kohl's.
Okay.
But that will be for, go ahead, Matt.
It's their detention pond, essentially. They didn't have enough space on site to put a detention pond on that property, so they're routing everything to the south. And then they had to relocate some sanitary sewer to make space for that.
All right, well, thank you very much. I was curious what it was.
Absolutely. Thank you, Mr. Bogan.
Matt, does that mean they can't develop that lot anymore, or it's just part of that SWAT's detention plan?
There will still be a portion of that available
Okay.
for development, and I don't know if there's capacity in the pond that they're building, but I would assume they would just expand it.
Gotcha.
To get whatever volume they need.
Any additional questions or comments?
Yeah, that's when the stop build gonna be.
What is it now?
The stop build. You got any time frame on that?
Oh, for the moratorium?
Yeah.
So we are looking at still right around the 3-year mark, right? We're hoping to have mass movement after so right now the plans are being drawn up and it'll go out to bid by the end of the year, hopefully. That's our hope. By the time we break ground, we're looking at a good 2 years. That would be fair, wouldn't it, Mr. Bowden? We're moving though, we're getting there.
Appreciate it.
Absolutely. Okay, so we'll move right along to Boone County Sheriff's Department Major Jason Knoll.
Good evening, everybody. Run through some of the numbers for July for the activity in the city of Walton. Very similar to last month's activity, which is a good thing. It was actually pretty slow, pretty quiet in Walton. 911 hangups, we had 3. Alarm drops 35. Attempt to locates 10. Animal complaints 6. Only 10 accidents in the city of Walton this month. 2 suspected burglary reports. 22 business checks. 34 criminal and civil summons were served. 2 criminal mischief complaints. 11 domestic violence calls. 7 drunk or alcohol-related incidents. 4 emotional crisis. 8 motorist assist. 2 overdoses, 9 requests for information. Sheriff's deputies conducted 321 business and residential spot checks, 16 suspicious activity calls, 5 reports, 14 traffic complaints were conducted, 47 traffic stops as a result of the traffic complaints, resulting in 33 citations issued. Took 21 vehicle complaints, 12 lockouts, arrested 18 individuals that were wanted, and had an additional 8 arrests during the time in the month of July. I looked through the information for the month. There were no critical incidents in the city of Walton, nothing really to touch base on. Mayor, I think we talked at the last meeting about the vape shop in the city of Walton that we assisted Walton Fire with, conducting a search warrant and shutting them down. I don't know the outcome of that yet. Obviously, the owners were charged, but obviously that's in the proceedings for the court right now. And Chief could probably touch on that a little bit more with shutting them down for fire code issues.
Yeah, those life safety issues that we have been trying to work with them for about 3 years to fix. There wasn't nothing, a few significance, but, significant importance, but not cost. And they just refused to bother to budge or even make any effort to fix anything. So we went on to get with the sheriff's department and found out that they had their own investigation going on for law enforcement related reasons, and we wound up partnering up and ended with them being closed down.
Great teamwork on behalf of the fire department and the sheriff's department narcotics unit. So looks like we got that handled. I know we've received some complaints about juveniles purchasing some items in that place, and the fire department took the lead on that, and our narcotics investigation actually formally charged the owner. So, but that's still in court proceeding, so I can't disclose too much about it. Just housekeeping item for me. Do you guys need any presents for August 23rd?
Probably just normal patrol. There's not going to be any alcohol.
Okay.
We had considered alcohol, at which point that probably would be pretty important that you all would be there, but we're not doing that. So
Okay.
Just your normal patrol would be awesome.
Okay, and I'll try and add a couple bodies down here just to make sure that they're visible and in their area during that time.
Thank you.
And then September 6th, I have that scheduled. I'll get that scheduled so we can get that covered as well for the
Thank you.
parade and everything else. So I will leave it to the council and the mayor if you guys have any questions of the sheriff's department.
So I did call non-emergency dispatch probably 10 days ago or so, and it's on Beaver Road here in town.
Did you speak to Sergeant Horton by chance?
I'm not sure. It was about a motorcycle?
Yeah, he.
Okay, very
He
good.
discussed that with me.
Okay, very good.
He took care of that.
It really?
Yes.
So there was a follow-up?
Yes, there was.
Awesome. I just see great potential for someone to really get hurt there, and it's troubling, but thank you very much
Yes.
for that.
Yeah, he actually notified me and let me know that he spoke to you.
Thank you,
Is
sir.
that accurate? Did he speak to you?
Yes, well, I called I'm not sure who I spoke to when I called the non-emergency line.
Okay.
Yeah.
It was Sergeant Horton.
Okay, thank you very much.
Yes, ma'am.
And then also, there's a situation on, is that Old Nicholson? on Old Nicholson, and you may or may not be aware. I think that the department is aware. I've got a follow-up text message from Bobby McDonald, who's our code enforcement. Unfortunately, there's a gentleman down there that, who I've heard is homeless.
Okay.
And he's right around the Gaines house. A bigger concern is that he has a very aggressive dog, and animal control has been called several times. I know that Bobby followed up with Boone County, and he just sent me a text message, so you may have more information coming your way.
Okay.
But it's just concerning that there's a rather dangerous dog down there who has attacked family dogs.
With the homeless individual?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
And, more concerning is that a child would become entangled with the dog.
Dog goes after everybody.
What's that, I'm sorry?
Dog goes after everybody.
Goes after everybody?
Cop was there yesterday, the dog went after the cop, and the cop didn't shoot him.
Okay. Is the gentleman from the city of Walton or just a
Yeah, he goes
beggar?
down there. I think his wife's gonna eat the against him.
Okay.
He lives right down the street, so he goes and lives at the games down there.
Do you know his name by chance?
They arrested him yesterday.
They did arrest him?
He'll be back today.
Well,
It's every day, same thing.
we can put handcuffs on people, we can't determine what the judge does. So,
In that situation,
It's a
though,
dog that everybody's worried about.
Yeah.
okay. Did animal shelter,
No, they never showed up.
They didn't?
Called them multiple times.
okay. So who has the dog?
It runs wild down there, but they let it in their house at 220 down there.
220 is the address?
So, I believe so, yeah.
Okay, thank you.
thank
I'll do
you.
some follow-up with that.
When there is an arrest and the dog is loose, is that normally animal control would be called to get the dog?
Yes.
Okay.
I asked them to do that, they wouldn't do it.
Okay.
Animal control would not?
No, as the dog was trying to fight all the neighbors' dogs, the cop tried to break it up.
Okay, but animal control didn't do
No,
anything? Okay, I'll give them a call and see what.
Thank you very much.
We don't have the tools to apprehend a
No.
vicious dog.
Understood. Yeah, I got a 7-pound vicious dog, and I don't have the tools. Okay, so that's all I have. Anything else for Major Knoll?
Thank you, guys. Good to see everybody again.
As well, thank you. We appreciate all that you do, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, moving right along, we will head on over to the fire department. Chief Vest.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Mayor, City Council, I believe you all should have a copy of my report, so for everyone else in the room, I'll just give a brief synopsis. So far, January 1st through July 31st of this year, we've responded to a total of 247 fire-related incidents. 31 of those was during the month of July. Additionally, we've responded to 1,022 EMS-related incidents, 175 of which was during the month of July. For the year 2025, we responded to 35 structure fire calls, 2 stabbings or shootings, 16 overdoses, 113 motor vehicle crashes, and 18 either cardiac respiratory arrests or DOAs. And that is up through July 31st of this year. Does anyone have any questions for me about any of that?
When these numbers, that's for the whole area, including the Richwood,
The
right?
entire fire district.
Okay, very good, thank you.
Chief, when you're referring to the fire safety issues at the vape shop, did those affect the Walton Pharmacy next door, or was it contained to the one
It was
business?
contained to that one
Okay.
portion of the building. Great Clips, I think it is. Great Clips, Super Cuts, one of those two, whatever it is.
Yeah.
I think it's Great Clips.
Gotcha.
They're in the same building, but it did not affect their business.
Okay.
It was localized to that one business.
Thank you.
Did you get that part for your truck? I know y'all were waiting for a thing for your truck, a new truck, right?
The quick tap truck
Yeah,
we're working on?
yeah.
Yes, it has come in. We anticipate starting the training for our personnel, if not the end of this week, beginning of next week. So once we get our folks trained on how to pump it, drive it, handle it, and that type of thing, then it'll be put in service. And that shouldn't take more than a couple of weeks. But yeah, the stuff that was on back order is waiting on has arrived, so it's getting all finalized now.
sounds cool. Okay, well,
I have one other announcement to make. It's an annual announcement. I worked on the fire department's budget, and I made a recommendation to the board this year that they lower the fire taxes. Real tax is being lowered 1 cent, and tangible and vehicle taxes is being lowered 2 cents. So that's a total of 3 cent tax reduction. Not a life-changing amount for any individual or business or anything, but the way I look at it, my board looks at it, is it's Roll's money, not ours. And if we can save you all a few bucks through the year by lowering taxes, then we're going to work to do that. So we're going to take care of the community's needs and still leave a little bit more money in your all's pocket.
And you do that year after year, so great appreciation. It adds up.
Since I've been chief, every year the taxes has been lowered 1 to 2 cents, with exception of 1 year, and that was during the height of COVID. And we just left the tax rate where it was. So we did not increase it. Just that 1 year, we did not lower it because all the additional expense and costs that we was incurring, and really the unknown with being the pandemic. So,
Thank you, Chief.
thank you.
Anything else for Chief? Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. And Cardinal Engineering, Mr. Matt Bogan. Good evening.
Updates on our road projects. Eaton's about to get started with the annual resurfacing. We're going to have a pre-construction meeting this week, and I'll go out and mark up the areas in the field so I know where the working limits are. We're also in the process of getting encroachment permits from the state for 2 projects. One is to add the memorial bench on Mary Grubbs in front of Skyline, because that's state right away. We need to get their blessing on it. I don't expect any issues with it, but we'll hear back from them. And then the other will be for the new crosswalks on Main Street with the flashing beacons. Because we do have, a few components there, the sidewalk ramps, the striping and beacons themselves, we'll need to coordinate with, a couple contractors to get that done, but try to make sure everything's done around the same time so that, the public doesn't think that they're open, to foot traffic without the flashing beacons and everything installed. On the Owens property, if you recall from last month, Councilman Brown had noticed a crack on the side of the spillway on the wall up at the top of the hill. We had a geotech come out and look at it. They said they didn't see any issues with it being active movement. They figured it was something that happened years ago when that area was still overgrown. It just wasn't visible. But they said if we really want to keep an eye on it to either have a survey crew out and get a shot on it, and then check back in on every so often, or to put a set of crack monitors on either side of it just to check and see if it shifts any, but nothing urgent. And then got a quote from the contractor for $11,000 to excavate out the areas for the sand volleyball courts, so that Public Works could come back later and put down the under drains and the gravel and the sand, and then maybe do a more limited bid out project later to do the actual equipment, the posts and the nets, the edge and all that for the volleyball courts. So, if council sees fit to move ahead with that, I'll get in touch with them and get it going. That $11,000 does depend on all of the excavated material being deposited on site at the park. If we had to send it elsewhere, even up here to the dump site behind the senior center, that cost would increase. He didn't say how much, but start having hauling costs incorporated if we have to take it somewhere off site.
Can we talk on this for a second?
Yeah.
So just council's aware, we put out bids for the whole volleyball, right, for the courts to be developed, and the bids were somewhere between $118,000 and $126,000. So Public Works, they are able to do a lot of the work, but the excavating piece, they felt like they didn't have what was necessary. So again, just saving taxpayers' dollars and knowing that we weren't going to pay 6 figures for volleyball courts. Are you all okay with moving forward with the $11,000 to excavate?
I am.
Head nod, okay?
Yeah? Yeah, okay, very good. So we're,
We're not 20,000.
yeah, so we're good with that. And then the part about removal, can we not just put that in front of the dam?
We can,
Okay.
that was my idea.
Okay, let's do that.
Do it and kind of level that out.
Yeah.
And, you know, put picnic tables there or, you know, whatever.
Absolutely.
It's still, we still have that ongoing seepage through the dam. It's slow, but that area at the bottom is, it stays kind of swampy, so.
Maybe that dirt will help.
Yeah, covered up a little bit. But fine.
Thank you.
Sure. And then on our water and sewer projects, we have surveyed the property over on Precision, where we're looking at our pump house for the southern water connection. I've sent that information to Monarch so they can proceed with their design. And then we'll get an easement exhibit together to reach out to the property owner. I talked to him a few months ago, just kind of giving him a general overview of the project and you know, what our needs might be from him, and he was on board with it, so I don't expect a whole lot of pushback, but I just need to make some tweaks on exactly where it's going to go, where the building will go.
And so for this one, this is kind of a fast track, council, where as soon as we get the ability, the easement, we're ready to go for the southern connection. I know that we did budget somewhere around 700 to 800,000. I think the last set of fees that we saw all in, which is a high estimate, they tell me, in dealing with Monarch, it could be somewhere to the 1 million piece, right? Bless you. The great news is that we do have our bond options with KLC. And we do too know that with the occupational tax that'll be rolling in next year, this essentially, as we plan to use that money just for infrastructure needs, that it literally could pay that project off easily in that year. So I just want you to be aware that we're right there. As soon as Mr. Bogan gets the easement, then the southern connection, the new pump station for the water will be
Awesome,
moving forward.
awesome.
Okay, very good. Thank you. Sorry, Matt.
Oh, you're good. And on our stormwater projects, we've been talking about the ongoing drainage issues behind Mariko Street. I've got a preliminary design done, actually kind of went back and reconfigured some things on the previous concept I had, just do a little value engineering. So, you know, as we talked about, we're going to try and connect some of the drains coming off of Mary Grubb's extension, and then have some drains in the low point there to capture some of that water that just sits there and soaks into the backyards and the kind of the bowl there, and then send it downstream towards there's a 48-inch culvert that goes under the railroad bridge, so get everything down to there, closer to that area. And then the other portion of it that might be a little bit more contentious is grading up through the backyards and having a line channel with riprap. I know some of the property owners weren't really willing to work with the city, so we might have to have some negotiations or try to work through that. But there aren't any structures proposed through that area, so if we can't come to an agreement, that part is pretty easy to just cut that out and the water will just flow through the channel that's there. And then the remainder's within either right-of-way or the city-owned property in the low point. The current estimate that I have is $215,000 for that. That does include a 10% contingency, just to account for anything that might come up along the way. So if council's still willing to proceed with that, we can start contacting property owners and see if they're agreeable to it, or if not, what other options we can look at.
Council, big purchase item here, but I think that all of us were in seat when the gentleman came and we saw the videos, and we understand that it's an absolute issue. The price tag is not pleasing, but it's necessary, and
They'll probably just keep getting bigger.
yeah, I would agree.
Yeah,
They do.
yeah, the water's not going anywhere. It's been a wet summer. We've got a lot of pop-up storms and stuff like that, and heavy rains. So, yeah, it's gonna continue to be a problem.
So with council's head nod, we can move forward, right, Mr. Duncan?
Yeah, eventually, once we get more fixed prices and things like that, we'll need some paperwork
Okay.
and more formal approvals.
Yeah, we don't have bids yet, so it's not the point that we need to have a full vote on it.
Are we good with Mr. Bogan moving forward?
And you would need all 5 easements before anything could actually happen, correct?
Yeah.
And if they aren't willing easements, then it might turn into a legal situation. Is that correct?
Correct, yeah.
Okay.
We could proceed with condemnation. It's not, that's kind of the last resort. Or, if we don't want to go that route, like I said, we would just eliminate that portion. It's really just connects the drains that come from Oreko and kind of weaves through the backyards and then reaches that low point. So otherwise, we just let it do what it's doing currently, and it would get collected by the drains downstream.
Okay.
I kept that part to a minimum, just with the expectation that we might get more pushback on that part of it. Okay. Any other questions?
Update on the pedestrian bridge? None?
Nothing.
Okay, very good. And then council, I don't know if you were aware, I had it on the caucus in my notes, but caucus was so busy this past Tuesday, I forgot. So if you weren't aware, Hunter Donovan, if everyone's aware, stop me now, but Hunter Donovan passed away. He was a young man that went to Walton, Verona, and he passed away years ago when he crossed the intersection of Mary Grum's. And his mom had reached out. It was one morning before school, and he was going to McDonald's, and unfortunately he was struck and he died there. And his mom had reached out to keep his memory alive and to really be more of a safety awareness like this occurred here, right? She wanted to do a memorial bench for Hunter up there in front of Skyline where he was hit. The great news is that we have, one, I think it's worthy. I think it's something that we would all want to support to keep the young man's memory alive. And again, just a reminder of the dangers of that four-lane highway. We do have a bench that we've been looking for a place to use it, and it all just came together at once in God's way, where she reached out, and Rebecca that same day said, oh, we still need to figure out where to put the bench. Well, so what we're looking to do, and what we'd like to do, is to pour a pad of concrete up in front of Skyline, and that's the reason that it's listed here. That's a state situation, so the state has to allow us to do that, but offset it from the sidewalk, pour a concrete slab, put the bench that we have, and Chris Grubbs from Chambers and Grubbs is willing to donate the memorial plaque for Hunter. And that all came through the Business Coalition, so just didn't want to keep you in the dark on that. It just all developed over the last 30 days, and I apologize that I didn't mention it at caucus.
Sorry, I wasn't in the loop, or I would have elaborated.
No worries, thank you, yes.
Okay, anything else? All right.
Thank you, Mr. Bogan. Okay, so moving on to city business. Sorry. Okay, so we have the truck bid review. If you remember, we did budget money for Public Works to get a new dump truck with all the bells and whistles that were needed. And they found, Jonathan did a lot of work to find this truck. And so there was a bid process, and we're just looking for council's approval to go ahead and approve the current bid for the truck and the documents that you see in your packet. I think we budgeted, like, was it
117, I think.
Okay, so we budgeted around 117, and this is coming in less than 90. So kudos to Jonathan for finding what they need at a lesser price. But again, it was included in the budget. Dane, you have something?
Yeah, does this include, does this already have the dump bed on it, or the dump bed would be in addition to this?
No, that price that you see includes the dump bed and all the lights and
Okay.
stuff like that.
It's pretty much ready to go with a few minor
Yes.
modifications. Okay.
Give a little picture.
Yeah. Could have got there.
That's all right,
I wouldn't have asked that question.
A lot of paper.
Yeah.
Right.
Need a motion.
Okay, so by motion to accept, thank you.
Second.
Very good.
Dan Martin,
Yes.
Caleb Flaggy.
Yes.
Amy Long.
Yes.
Sherry Gaskell.
Yes.
Rose Beach.
Yes.
Matt Brown.
And then I'm going to pass the baton to Sherry. The next two things she's been working on, thank you, Sherry, the T-Mobile grant as well as a discount prescription drug card. Sherry, go right ahead.
Okay. I want to start with the discount prescription card. I've spoken with, it's a Sarah Stoll and Tiffany Crawford, and they are from KLC. And they are offering a prescription discount card to us at no cost to us. They have written me an email today that says, emails received, we'll be back in touch later this week with the next steps. Some things you can do. We can get 500 generic cards. We can pass them out and come to get them. We can put it on the, you said the newsletter, put it in the newsletter. You know, I've spoken to the drugstores. Now, Kroger seems to think they got a better deal. Sarah from KLC says they don't. So, you know, everybody needs help with their, you know, prescriptions are very, very costly. So I'll have more information on that, hopefully at next meeting or before. But then we have, we can get personalized prescription cards too, with our logo on them and names and stuff like that. But that's a 4 to 6 week delivery. The 500 cards they could send us like first of next week. They could send them here, and we could pass them out. And then one of the worries from one of the other members was, what will Walton Pharmacy do? So I spoke to them about that. I've not been able to speak to the lady yet that owns the place because we keep missing each other. But there are 68,000 pharmacies in their network. And if they're in their network, they're going to get discounts. So I'm hoping that everybody's okay with that.
Absolutely. So it's no cost to the city, no cost to the citizen, and it's by solicitation. If someone wants it, they could simply come to City Hall and,
Yeah.
and acquire that.
Right. It's just, you know, it's it's just free, you know, whatever they want to do. If they want to use it, fine. If they don't, fine. That's up to them. And if it doesn't give them a discount that Kroger does, then they can have the Kroger discount, you know what I'm saying? But you do offer the card, you do give it to them, and they will determine that at the time that you get the prescription. Okay? So is that cool?
So Katie would have to be, Walton Drug would have to be part of the group?
Yeah, and if they're not, Sarah says she'll see to it that they get what the help they need. Because there's kind of I don't know if there's a kickback for them necessarily, but it's no loss to the drugstores from what I understand.
She's there on Wednesday.
Wednesdays? We just keep missing each other, you know, so, but,
I think it's a great idea. It costs us nothing, it costs the citizens nothing, and it could save some folks a lot of money, so.
it's like 20%, I think. Don't quote me on that. It's like a 20% savings. And I'm sure you guys are okay with that, right? Cool?
Do the citizens have to do anything to activate or enroll?
They just get the card and take it.
Okay.
That's all I know. She hasn't told me anything else, but she will give me more information with the first of next week.
Thank you.
On what we need to do. Okay? And if they have to enroll, they could do it, because she said she would put it on our website too,
Awesome.
on the City of Walton's website, if they can do that. So that was the easy part. The next thing that I'm working on is I'm working on a grant from T-Mobile. It's a $50,000 grant to whatever we need it to do. And on my heart, it's fix it's not a handicap swing, it's a wheelchair swing. And add another swing beside of it, you know, so you can have regular children, because that's one of their things, that they want to make sure that it's good for everybody. And some of the criteria, it's all here on what we need, and we're looking at the swing and then fixing that pavilion. I mean, we put money in the budget for that pavilion, but if this grant comes through, and we could always add to, you know, put it on there if we needed more. So I'm going to start on that. I just needed to make sure that by tonight we were able to start with that.
So Sherry needs, so that we will be viewed in a higher esteem, we need a committee, right? So
Yes.
she's going to pull together a committee. We're going to need letters from community members and from even Dr. Baker. So there's a lot of things that we can do to sell ourselves on this grant. The great news is it's a community improvement project, and Sherry's passionate about the swing down at the park being replaced. If you're aware, it was vandalized, and so it had to be removed. And so now there's no longer a wheelchair swing down there. So Sherry's passionate about providing that back to those children or adults who were using or who need that. Which is, I mean, it's a high cost. The swing itself is probably somewhere between $3,000 and $5,000.
It's $5,000 just for the swing itself.
The great news is the grant's for $50,000, and so that if we could secure that grant, and it's for community upgrades in any way that we see. One thing Sherry and I talked about is the pavilion down at the lake, where currently we have a structure down there that's just a foundation from the old A-framed house, and we were looking to deck over it, and this would be a prime location for bands to play. If you are familiar with Independence's Pavilion. And then in this budget year, I don't think we were planning on going hog wild and pig crazy. We were just really trying to do the flooring piece. But if we could secure that grant, it would absolutely move us along in that plan as well. So if you have a passion about securing this grant with Sherry, then please let her know, because again, she's looking for a committee of folks that would be willing to work on it with her. I'll be a part of that committee. And she and I are looking to meet, if not this week, next week. We have to hammer home the details before the end of September.
You know, I have till the end of September to finish the grant. And this is one grant, and there are probably going to be 300 entries. So, you know, there's no guarantee, but I think that this is a good cause. You know, the wheelchair swing is a good cause. Adding a swing to it is a good cause, because, you know, mom might have a child in a wheelchair, child in a regular swing. You know, it's hard to put them both there together. You know, having the kids swing when there's soccer games going on. You know, when you're in a wheelchair, you can't do what others do. You know, you're pretty limited. You know, so it's very passionate for me. It's my passion to work on this grant, to try to secure it. And like I said, I have until the end of September to do it. And I am going to get a committee, because we have to go check on things. We have to tell them who's going to keep it, who's going to upkeep it, who's going to go make sure that nobody tears the swing up. And if somebody does, well, we're going to go fix it. You know, we have to keep it up. And then after 6 months, I have to write a report. And I'll be doing all the writing and the reporting and everything like that. You guys don't have to worry about anything like that. The committee would be, now, Sherry, what about this? Now, Sherry, what about that? What do you think about this? You know, coax me a little bit. Maybe you have better, you know, you have better ideas. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that, you know, having a better idea. But, and then the grant will be awarded in November, and it doesn't actually begin until February.
And
So
those funds have to be used before the end of the calendar year next year, right?
Yeah, whatever you say, whatever you ask for, you don't get just 50. You get what you ask for. If you ask for 37,000, that's what you get. It's 37,000. Okay, and then I have to have a report of everything that's spent, what it was spent on. And I have here what the community needs, the impact, your partners, your feasibility. You have to have, you have eligible grant uses that you're allowed to use, and you have something you're not allowed to use. You're not allowed to have pass-through funding. Like, we're not allowed to use it to finish a project we didn't have enough money for. You're not allowed to do that, you know. You're not allowed to do staff salaries with it. But you can use the grant to use it for construction, some of the equipment, the labor cost, the artist supplies if there's any. You know, so we can use the grant money to get it together, but we just can't use it for salaries and operational maintenance expenses and stuff like that. Because, you know, Boone County Parks and Recreation takes care of our park. You know, so we will, in conjunction with them, hopefully be able to keep it all together. Okay, I think that's it, though.
Sherry, I appreciate your work on it and just looking at our options. Funding options really has never been explored in my tenure with council and where I sit today. So I know that we've made a promise to do a better job at that, and I appreciate what you've done. So I look forward to working with you on that to see if we can win the grant.
Yeah, absolutely. I'd love to.
Very good. Any questions or thoughts or anything before we move along? Yes, sir.
We have cameras at the park.
We do. Right now, we have cameras that are facing the splash pad because that's our biggest money player down there, right? There's only one there currently, right?
Correct.
Yeah, so it would be facing in the direction of where the damage took place on the wheelchair swing. Unfortunately, it wasn't there when that occurred, right?
Good question.
We've increased a lot of cameras in the city, and not on Main Street. We don't play Big Brother, but so down at the lake, we have several cameras currently. At our sewer plant, we've added cameras, and at the main park, we've added cameras. We've not added any more at the Gaines house, right?
No, the public ones.
Oh, and at Public Works too. We've added cameras. So we did find a friendly little camera on Amazon that's easy for, with one login to look at the feedback and what's occurred. There is a cost every time, I guess, that you add a camera, so Jessica was telling me. We're not happy with the provider currently. We have cameras on top of City Hall, and I don't think we're getting the bang for our buck. So just in the last 2 weeks, I'd asked the ladies in the office to really research that and look at a better option. So ever changing, we're looking to do something better and different, but we understand the value in having cameras at our playgrounds, at our parks, because unfortunately that stuff gets destroyed. Yes, ma'am.
I would say that I have more than once, when the chair used to be the wheelchair swing, more than once encouraged people, kids, to get off of it because they're just climbing all over it and tearing it up, basically. So how do we prevent that? I mean, it's going to happen again.
I think an educational piece around that, right? Because I think that, look, not all parents parent the same way that, right? I mean, you tell me once or I was going to get spanked. That's not how we kind of operate anymore. And some may, but I really think it's about educating, because if little Johnny, who's 10, understood the exact purpose for that, then maybe Johnny would consider the next time before he occupied that swing, right? So I really think that as a community, it's for us to educate our neighbors, like you did, encourage folks not to, and in a kind way, explaining the whys. We do have a new communication tool with our city newsletter, and we're hoping to have a greater tool with when we talked about the text option. But Barb, you know all too well, communication has been one of our greatest opportunities, right? So really trying to figure that out, but it takes a village, and it takes someone who has the courage to say, hey, that's not the intended use, and to educate. And I know that can be a scary position, because when you involve yourself in someone else's business, it might not end the way you thought it would, which was a kind conversation. So, but just really trying to educate folks as to why those swings are there, and hopefully they would be respected.
And then you say the camera's pointing in that direction now?
It is. Where the splash pad is captured, the swing would be too. So we would see intentional destruction, but what you were witnessing wasn't intentional destruction. It was just someone occupying a swing that really wasn't meant for them.
How long did it last before it got broke?
Years? Well, yeah, I know Gabe was a big part of bringing that in.
Matt really researched it.
Matt, yeah.
There's probably at least.
Beyond 2020.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe 7 to 10?
Oh, yeah.
But it hasn't been working. It's been down since when the splash pad grand opening occurred. The swing was working then. So that was just within the last year. But unfortunately, it was destroyed beyond the point of repair. And here's the other unfortunate thing. In talking with Boone County Parks, David Whitehouse, it's unfortunately a common theme that these items are being destroyed. And so David had said that for the Boone County Parks, they're literally not replacing the swings. They're high cost, they're being destroyed. But if we can bring them back to our community park and then do our due diligence with camera, accountability, then we're willing to roll the dice to include everyone, so.
So if somebody was caught on camera destroying,
It would have to be positively identified.
Good cameras.
Yeah, and the cameras that we're using are good cameras. So, positive ID. And then we leave it up to Boone County Sheriff's Department. Which I know sometimes your hands are tied.
If they're not good cameras, it's hard to detect.
Understood. We'll make
It's a
sure,
struggle sometimes.
yeah, we'll make sure the quality's high. Any other questions or conversation around the grant or the swings or the park or the cameras?
Good question, Barb.
Okay, moving forward. Proclamation 2025-02, a proclamation of the mayor of the city of Walton, Kentucky, designating September 17th through the 23rd, 2025 as Constitution Week in the city of Walton. Mr. Duncan.
Thank you, Mayor and Council and citizens. It's short, so I'll read the whole thing. Whereas it's the privilege and duty of the American people to commemorate the 238th anniversary of the drafting of the Constitution of the United States of America with appropriate ceremonies and activities, and whereas Public Law 915 guarantees the issuing of a proclamation each year by the President of the United States of America designating September 17 through 23 as Constitution Week. Now therefore, Mayor Terry Courtney, by virtue of the authority vested in her as mayor of the city of Walton in the Commonwealth of Kentucky, do hereby proclaim the week of September 17 through 23, 2025 as Constitution Week in the city of Walton, and urge all citizens to study the Constitution and reflect on the privilege of being an American with all the rights and responsibilities which that privilege involves. And you will sign that and we'll be finished with it.
Okay, very good. This originated from the Daughters of the American Revolution, and so they had reached out, and it was something that was important to them, and obviously the Constitution's important to each and every one of us. So just a little background on why that became. Municipal Order 2025-03, a municipal order of the City of Walton, Kentucky, appointing and approving David Hinks as a member of the Walton Board of Adjustment for a new 4-year term expiring August 31st, 2029. Mr. Duncan.
All right, Mayor and Council, it's short, so I'll read it too. Paragraph 1, David Hinks' current term on the Walton Board of Adjustment is set to expire on August 31, 2025. Pursuant to KRS 100.217, David Hinks is hereby reappointed by Mayor Courtney and approved by City Council as a member of the Walton Board of Adjustment for a new 4-year term expiring on August 31, 2029. And then by further explanation, that statute requires that the mayor make the appointment and requires the city to approve any appointment to the Board of Adjustment. So it would now be appropriate for the council to take that into consideration, and you can adopt this municipal order by motion.
Make a motion.
Second.
Dan Martin,
Yes.
Caleb Flaggy,
Yes.
Amy Long,
Yes.
Sherry Gaskell,
Yes.
Rose Beach,
Yes.
Matt Brown.
Does that require another swearing in?
Yep.
Okay, very good. We'll go with that. Thank you. The first reading of ordinance 2025-13, an ordinance of the City of Walton, Kentucky, amending section 150.35 therein and creating subsection G therein in order to establish an inspection and permit program for mobile food service to include food trucks, food trailers, food canopies, and tents, and delegate the authority to the Walton Fire District's Inspection Bureau to conduct life safety inspections in accordance to the Kentucky Standards of Safety. Mr. Duncan.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. That was first reading of the title. This was sponsored by Dan Martin at the instigation of the Chief of the Fire Department, and it is too long to read the whole thing. So I'll just summarize it. Basically, we currently have section 150.35 in our Code of Ordinances, which relates to the standards of safety and delegates the authority to enforce those standards of safety and life safety requirements to the Walton Fire District. And what this will do is have two types of inspection/permits for short-term food services. And those would be such things as food trucks, food trailers, food canopies, and tents. If it's for 0 to 3 days, there is a very abbreviated self-inspection and then one, as I understand it, one review the day that it opens by the fire department. And then there's a long-term food service, which is greater than 3 days, which would require a more extensive inspection, and there is an inspection checklist which is attached to the ordinance as an exhibit. I would normally say on a log ordinance like this, if you're having trouble sleeping, you can try to read that, but I won't insult the chief.
It's kind of like what the right of here. I understand.
And just a little background, so Chief brought this to the city, and he's really setting a standard for the county, and by, if council approves and passes, then he's going to take it to the county to hold them to the same standard. Again, this is not punitive. For example, Old Fashioned Day, if someone's not able to pass the food truck, the inspection because they don't have their fire extinguisher, Chief straight up said, hey, we'll go back to the fire department and get the extinguisher that they need. It's about safety. It's not about fines. It's not about collecting money or, again, a punitive approach. And then Chief had shared situations where propane tanks have exploded and it could be a mass casualty event. So just great appreciation, Chief, for your forward thinking and bringing it to council. And by motion, council can
Move forward with first reading.
Yes, sir. No one motion. Did someone motion?
Move forward.
Mike said that.
Mr. Duncan, we can't count him.
Motion to approve.
Can't count who?
You can't motion.
Oh, I didn't make a motion.
I know, but they thought you did.
I thought it was Dan.
Motion to approve.
Thank you, Caitlin.
Second.
Dan Martin,
Yes.
Caleb Flaggy,
Yes.
Amy Long,
Yes.
Sherry Gaskell,
Yes.
Rose Beach.
Yes.
Matt Brown.
Thank you again, Chief. And we move on to the first reading of ordinance 2025-14, an ordinance of the City of Walton, Kentucky, adopting a personnel and pay classification plan as required by KRS 83A.070 in order to fix the compensation of city employees and non-elected city officers. Mr. Duncan.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. That statute that the mayor read in the title 83A.070, paragraph 2, requires by ordinance that we have a personnel and pay classification plan which sets forth the grades of the various employees and city officials, non-elected city officials. And we did in the past keep up with this pretty often. It's been a while since we updated it, so we're basically throwing out everything we had and starting over with the titles and so on of the various city officials and employees and putting a minimum and a maximum compensation level. And that is attached as an exhibit to the ordinance. So like the mayor said on the other ordinance, if you'd like to go ahead with first reading on this, you can do that by motion.
And just for the public's knowing, this had not been updated since 2018. A lot of things have changed, right? We COVID moving forward especially, so just helping you to understand why we're doing this. Again, it's the pay structure, the low end, the high end of what a position could be paid by the city. But again, just updating it because it has not been done in 8 years.
Motion to approve?
Second.
Dan Martin,
Yes.
Caleb Flaggy,
Yes.
Amy Long,
Yes.
Sherry Gaskell,
Question. Sorry. Are these numbers, we're voting that this is what it's going to be? These are set? No.
Rose Beach,
Yes.
Matt Brown.
Okay, so that is our city business for the evening. Before we move to council comments, are there any concerns of citizens or questions, comments that you've saved until the end? Yes, ma'am.
I'm sorry? I don't agree with the salaries.
You see the salaries?
Yeah, we step up here, I'll hand it to you. Yeah, absolutely. Thank you.
Did you want to see as well? Did you want to see it as well?
Any other questions or comments? Okay, so we'll move along to council comments. I'm turned around here in the way that we usually do it. I'll just keep it the same order. Councilwoman Long, do you have anything?
I don't know, thank you all for coming.
Councilman Flaggy? No comments. Councilwoman Beach?
No.
Councilwoman Gaskell?
I'm good.
Councilman Martin?
I don't have anything. Hope to see you guys at Old Fashioned Day.
Yeah, and so August 23rd, Be There, Be Square. That's, again, the first community day at the park. It's going to be fun. We need people to come out and support that. Again, the city's going to have a band and the blow up, so there's a little bit of money that's put into it, and it's all for a good purpose, but we just look forward to having a nice community day down at our lake that's absolutely beautiful. Great appreciation for those of you that come all the time. Yes, sir?
Before we adjourn, can I make a comment about the way this is arranged?
Yes, sir.
I think the acoustics are so much better. Has anyone felt the difference or heard everything that was said tonight more better than before? Maybe it's just me.
I think he likes the rocking chair. You like the rocking chair, don't you, Mr. Wayne?
What's that?
You like the rocking chair?
No, it's just, I don't know what it is. It's just
The voice is bouncing off a wall instead of a window.
and more pronounced, and it's easier to understand.
Well, I'm almost sitting where you normally sit, and I think that air vent causes a little bit of noise, so I can understand where you're probably hearing better.
I was just trying to compliment whoever came up with this idea. Because I think it's wonderful.
Mr. Duncan?
I did.
There you go.
And again, the purpose for it was because we were supposed to have a Zoom link tonight, as Matt Brown's in Florida, and he thought he would join us by Zoom. And so we were just trying to set it up the way that would be best for Zoom. But if this is something that everyone likes, then we can continue it monthly.
Well,
Those shutters is just a pro.
Can we take a vote?
Do we need to vote?
Surely not. Surely not.
Don't tell me that.
You're in charge.
Yeah. Mr. Morris, thank you.
Stir up something?
No, not at all, but thank you for your feedback.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, so if council, if you're feeling a certain way about it, just reach out to Rebecca. I don't mind, however.
I think that, like I said,
No, sir.
since citizens get Zoom link, I mean, if this is set up for Zoom, it should always be like that.
Okay.
This is just easier, right? Plus, you know, they wouldn't be looking at themselves.
Mr. Morris, sold, we're gonna keep it this way. You no longer have to shut the blinds, you can be right there in that rocking chair.
Thank you very much. And that door right there is very visible from here.
Yes, and I know you're prepared. You are too.
Yeah, I got some comments about that after the meeting.
Okay, very good. So, again, thank you all for being here. I appreciate each and every one of you. You all have a good evening. Look forward to seeing you on the 23rd and September 6th, Old Fashioned Day. By motion, we can adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Have a good night.
If we're going to use that to sit up here and to support Zoom, we need to turn that camera